Ben and I have been courting for a while now, and since cooking really isn't one of my strengths, I thought it would be fun to spend some time with his sisters.
We are gonna cook fettuccine alfredo with chicken. I guess
that
that's
sounds really good.
one of Ben's favorites.
First thing we started working on was the apple pie. And Jess was kind of overseeing the whole thing, telling me what to do and like what to pour in, this ingredient, that ingredient. So how often does Ben get homemade apple pie? Is this kind of something he like expects?
Maybe once a month or so.
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a really good day. I hope you have enjoyed the content I've put out today. It's June 14th. It's Monday. It has been so hot here. Who else has a lawn that looks like it's been fried? I mean, I swear my lawn has never looked this bad. I am sad. But it's been so hot here with no rain. I am just hoping for rain. I heard we might get some rain tomorrow. If you are in an area with rain, raise your hand. I'm jealous. All right, welcome back to my channel. This has been one of those days where there's a lot to cover with the Duggars, and I apologize because this is my third Duggar video. Well, sort of. There's so many people in this sphere, so many of them. I could literally spend all day talking about all of them just because there's so many of them. I still have to do an update on the Bates too. Oh, that's right. Okay, so let's follow up on a story that I was planning to do last week but got sidetracked with other things, and then today it was like front and center. It was supposed to be my first video, and then Josh Duggar's whole thing happened with the court, which, by the way, if you haven't checked that video out, make sure that you do. So we have an update about a legal proceeding that does not involve Josh Duggar. I know, it's wild, it's crazy. In fact, it is a legal proceeding that involves Ben Seewald's sister. Yes.
I don't know if he also should anticipate having home-cooked meals every night. There may be some TV dinners.
Make himself some food.
I don't think it's quite as important for guys to cook, although it can be helpful sometimes.
Okay, so the Duggars have this belief about divorce. They just like literally don't believe it. They are in the IBLP and it's just not part of their world. The Seewalds on their side are not quite as conservative as the Duggars, but that's not saying that they're not still fundamentalists. They are. They are just not in the IBLP, making it so they're not quite as indoctrinated, but still heavily indoctrinated. Still very, I would say, almost extreme-ish in their beliefs. So Jim, Bob, and Michelle are heavily against divorce, and despite everything that I've been trying to find, I haven't been able to find much of anything in regards to what the Seewalds believe about divorce. But given that they're in a Baptist church and that Ben has become a pastor at a Baptist church, my guess is that they're not super okay with divorce. But that has not stopped Jessica Seewald for filing for divorce from her husband, Dwight. Jessica Seewald is the kind of sister that kind of beats to her own drum. She is a law enforcement police officer in Little Rock, and she has been working as an officer for years. She was the sister that was on Say Yes to the Dress. So back in 2019, she appeared on an episode of Say Yes to the Dress, where she picked out a dress where she had a sort of peekaboo area right down here. It was very defrauded and very beautiful. She looked amazing. And her wedding, which appeared to be, you know, a very beautiful event, and her first few months of marriage looked really happy. She posted frequently on her Instagram about how happy she was to be in this marriage, what a kind husband she was. The two of them seemed to like to cook and, you know, relax together. But at some point in time, something happened because she filed for divorce. If you're wondering if Jessica, being that she's a police officer, being that she's filing for divorce, being that she drinks alcohol and has no problem showing some skin, which, by the way, she is working on a killer revenge body, is she still conservative? Yes. So most of this family is conservative, and like I said, nothing wrong with being conservative. Some people assume that because she's a bit more liberal in her dress that she might hold different political beliefs, but perusing on her Facebook, and it's clear that she is still very much of the belief of what most of the Duggars feel, like same political beliefs, let's just say, just not as strict in her faith. Does that make sense? She's an independent lady, let's just say. So anyways, this divorce kind of hit out of the blue, and people were noticing that she had stopped posting photos with her husband, and had noticed that a lot of the photos that she was posting were of her alone or of her working out, which then made people look at her Instagram, and they realized that she had scrubbed all her photos of him from her Instagram, which then led me to the court documents, and I found that she was getting a divorce. Now, in her divorce, she had cited general indignities or personal indignities, which basically is that her relationship had become so irrevocably broken due to severe neglect, abuse, or intolerable behavior by your spouse. And that was what she cited as her cause of the relationship and why she wanted to end her marriage. So the state of Arkansas requires that you list a cause, and the person that files has to show just cause in order to get the divorce. So when she listed it as personal indignities and sort of implying that there had been some sort of abuse or neglect, intolerable behavior, cruel behavior, some people assumed that her husband might push back and fight back. But she got some good news, because her soon-to-be ex-husband filed some court documents, and he's not contesting this divorce. So when he filed his court documents last week, he said this: I acknowledge receipt of a copy of the complaint of divorce filed and on file herein, and that I have read and understand the complaint, and admit all of the allegations contained herein appearance of waiver. So in her complaint, she said that the defendant had subjected the plaintiff to personal indignities, destroying the legitimate ends of the marriage such that the plaintiff can no longer reside with defendant as husband and wife. She didn't go into any sort of specifics and didn't really go beyond that. That's just what her explanation was. And so his response was this: I acknowledge receipt of the copy of the complaint for the divorce and on file herein, that I have read and understand the complaint and admit all of the allegations contained herein, appearance and waiver. I hereby waive the issuance, service, and return of process upon me in this action, and enter a voluntary appearance in this case, and submit personally to the jurisdiction of the court, waiving all time and right to plead, answer, or appear in this action, and consent that same may be set down for trial and heard by the court at any time herein without notice. And in the absence of this defendant, I've never been involved in any other domestic relations proceedings involving any other party in this or any other jurisdiction. He went on to say, I'm not currently in active duty military, or of any branch of the armed services of the United States. I consent and I agree this proceeding is uncontested. I further consent that this cause be heard on any day convenient to the court without any further notice to me, and that the court enter the order granting of relief prayed for in the complaint. Additional waiver, I further waive my rights of notice to trial and findings of fact and conclusions of law, a record of testimony, motion for new trial, notice of entry in the final judgment decree, blah, blah, blah. So basically he is just saying, yep, she's right, I'm not contesting, and it looks like, I'm kind of wondering in a way if this was just they had to come up with a reason, or if there was something that he actually had done. I'm not sure, but he is not going to be fighting her at all about what the reasoning is for this divorce. I should note there's no DV that was charged here. There was no police reports, nothing of the sort. So this is most certainly not a situation where there were charges of any kind, or, it might just be irreconcilable differences. Maybe they had just grown apart, maybe something happened, who knows. But it sounds like both of them want to move on and want to move forward. And the husband in this situation has decided he will not be contesting the hearing. So the good news for Jessica is that she's going to be getting her divorce. As a result, she's been posting all over her Instagram. She posted embracing life summer vibes earlier this week and how it started versus how it's going. And she is pumping up some iron. So Jessica is enjoying her life, living free, and she's about to be a single lady. So I hope this means that's this closing this chapter is a good one for her, and I truly hope she did not experience anything too terrible in this marriage. And you know, I don't know how this will be received with the family, or whether or not Ben or Jessa had anything to say about it. I don't even know how close Ben and Jessa are to her, to be honest. So it's, you know, we'll see. No one else in the Seewald family has really said anything, and she's not said anything public. So good on Jessica. She's done. She's getting divorced, and she's happy. She is, maybe she'll have a divorce party. Is that a thing? I don't know. Anyways, that's all I got for this one. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.